A barefoot boy walked miles every day to reach school despite having no shoes and barely enough food to eat. His family was so poor that they couldn't afford 23 cents for bus fare. Today, that same boy is at the center of one of the most shocking criminal cases in history, accused of stealing $50 million from his country while building an empire worth billions and giving millions to charity. His name is Nazar Mohamed, and his story reveals uncomfortable truths about wealth, power, and corruption that grip an entire nation. The family uses an outdoor toilet. His father works all day cutting wood to feed 9 children. This boy is always hungry. Sometimes his next meal is only $10 away, which means his family might not have enough to eat. But this boy dreams of a better life. He dreams big despite having almost nothing. That boy was Nazar Mohamed. Nazar Mohamed was born on March 27, 1953, in a small village called Guyana, Sicilia on the Essequibo coast of Guyana. His parents were Maryam and Mohammed Yusuf. They were good, loving people, but they were very poor. The family lived in a tiny apartment with only 2 bedrooms. These apartments were called logis, and they were built for workers. They were crowded and uncomfortable. Nazar's neighbors were fishermen. Sometimes, when times were especially hard, they would give the family fish to eat or a little money to help them survive. For Nazar and his family, poverty was normal. It was just how life was. But Nazar was different from other children. He was very smart, especially at math. His teachers noticed his intelligence right away. They saw that he could learn quickly and solve difficult problems. However, being smart was not enough when you were poor. When Nazar was old enough to go to Anna Regina's secondary school, his family faced a heartbreaking problem. They did not have money for the bus fare. The bus ride cost only 23 cents each day. This seems like nothing to most people, but for Nazar's family, it was impossible. They could not afford even this small amount. Because of this, young Nazar had to leave school. Can you imagine your future being destroyed by such a small amount of money? Most people would give up, but not Nazar. He taught himself by reading every book he could find. He learned from anyone who was willing to teach him. He refused to let poverty stop his education. Then, something terrible happened. His father died suddenly. Nazar's father was his hero, his role model. But now, as the oldest of 9 children, Nazar had to become the breadwinner. He was just a teenager, grieving his father's death, but he had no choice. His family needed him. Nazar found a job at a sawmill. His work was extremely hard and tiring. He would spend long hours moving sawdust, removing trash, and packing lumber. After a full day of exhausting physical work, he made only $10. Think about that. $10 for a whole day of difficult labor under the hot sun. But here is what makes Nazar special. He did not spend this money on himself. Instead, he bought candy and sweets for his younger brothers and sisters. He bought groceries so his mother could cook meals for the family. What did he keep for himself? Just a glass of mabi, a local traditional drink, and a small cake. That was all he allowed himself to have. This tells us everything about who Nazar was. Even when he had almost nothing, he put his family first. He sacrificed for them. This kind of character would stay with him for his entire life. Nazar knew there had to be more to life than working at the sawmill for $10 a day. He wanted something bigger, so he made a brave decision. He left his village and moved to Georgetown, the capital city of Guyana. Life in the city was not easy. He stayed with a friend in a neighborhood called Albistown, but within just a few days, he was robbed. He was shaken by this, but he did not give up. He moved again, this time to Bartica, and then to Kao Island. In these places, he found work as a checker at another sawmill. But working for someone else was not what Nazar wanted. He had bigger dreams. He wanted to be his own boss. He wanted to start his own business and make his own decisions. This dream pushed him to look for new opportunities. Nazar started small, very small. He began working as a money changer, helping people exchange foreign currency. This might not sound like an exciting job, but in Guyana, many people needed to exchange money for business and travel. Nazar was smart, he worked hard, and most importantly, he was honest and trustworthy. People believed him and trusted him with their money. His reputation grew quickly. More and more people came to him for help with their currency exchange. People gave him a nickname that stayed with him forever, Shell. The story goes that when he was a boy in Islamic school, called a madrasa, he carried messages between teenagers who liked each other. He passed notes back and forth between them, like a messenger Shell. His classmates started calling him Shell. and the name never left him. As Nazar became more successful at money changing, he started to notice other opportunities. Guyana had many valuable natural resources, especially gold. Small miners all over the country were digging up gold from the earth, but they needed people to buy their gold. Nazar saw his chance and jumped into the gold trading business. This was the most important moment in Nazar's business life. This was where everything changed. Nazar founded Mohammed's enterprise, and over time, it became one of the largest gold exporters in the entire country. The business grew very fast. Gold buyers and sellers from around the world wanted to work with him. From a barefoot boy who could not afford bus fare to school, Nazar Mohamed was now becoming one of the richest men in Guyana. His wealth was estimated at over $1.5 billion. Some people claimed it reached $5 billion. He owned businesses in gold, foreign currency exchange, oil and gas, mining, quarrying, and construction. His company employed hundreds of workers. He had partnerships with big international companies. He was living a life that seemed impossible just a few decades before. Here is where Nazar's story becomes interesting and makes people think differently about him. Despite having enormous wealth, Nazar did not forget where he came from. He remained humble and down to earth. People who met him said he did not act like a billionaire at all. He was very generous with his money. Every year, he gave away millions of dollars to help poor people and communities. He built schools in Guyana and even in Africa. He dug water wells in poor communities where people did not have clean drinking water. He donated expensive land worth millions of dollars for public projects, including land for a new bridge. Every year during Ramadan, the Islamic holy month, Nazar gave 2.5% of his earnings to help poor people. He visited orphanages and helped families who were struggling. He paid for feeding programs that gave free food to hungry people. He gave away vehicles to people who needed them. In one single ceremony, he gave away 6 vehicles to families, 5 cars, and 1 minibus. One of those vehicles went to a man whose mother needed regular medical treatment. Another vehicle went to a woman who ran a cancer foundation helping sick people. Nazar even helped a man who had been wrongly accused of a serious crime. The man was accused of murder, but he was innocent. For years, Nazar paid for the man's lawyers to fight the false charges. Finally, in 2018, the man was freed from the charges. Then Nazar gave him something more. He built him a concrete house. Before this, the man had been an alcoholic with no hope, but Nazar's kindness completely changed his life. The man became a devoted Muslim, went to mosque every day, and finally had a stable home for his family. People across Guyana loved Nazar for this. He was seen as a hero, someone who genuinely cared about helping others. He often said he had lived 30 years in poverty and 40 years living a good life. He gave credit to Allah, his God, for all his success, not to his own efforts. This humility and genuine care for others made him respected across the entire country. But now comes the shocking part that changes everything we thought we knew about Nazar Mohamed. While Nazar was being celebrated as a generous man and business genius, investigators in the United States were secretly building a case against him. They were carefully investigating his gold business. What they discovered was shocking. According to U.S. authorities, Nazar and his son Izzuddin were running a massive fraud scheme. The serious accusation was that they were smuggling gold out of Guyana while lying about how much gold they were exporting. This meant they were cheating the Guyanese government out of millions of dollars in taxes that they owed. Here is how the fraud allegedly worked. When companies export gold from Guyana, they must pay taxes and royalties to the government. This money helps the government pay for schools, hospitals, roads, and other public services. It is how the government makes money from its valuable natural resources. But investigators say that Nazar and Izzuddin Mohamed were lying about their gold shipments. They were saying they exported less gold than they actually did. This meant they paid less money in taxes to the government. Over many years, all these lies added up to an enormous amount. The U.S. government claims the Mohammeds defrauded Guyana of approximately $50 million. This is money that should have gone to schools, hospitals, roads, and public services. Instead, according to prosecutors, it went directly into the Mohammeds' pockets. The serious evidence came on June 11, 2024. U.S. Customs officers at Miami International Airport stopped a shipment of gold bars worth $5.3 million. This gold had been sent by Mohammed's enterprise. When officials examined the paperwork, they found big problems. The amount of gold in the shipment did not match what had been declared on the official documents. This was the smoking gun that investigators had been searching for. Just days later, on June 11, 2024, the U.S. Department of Treasury announced major sanctions against Nazar Mohamed, his son Azruddin, their company Mohammed's Enterprise, and a government official named May Thomas. Sanctions are very serious punishments. They mean you cannot do business with the United States. Your bank accounts can be frozen. Your money can be taken. It is a massive blow to any international business. The Treasury Department explained that May Thomas, while working as a high-ranking official in Guyana's Ministry of Home Affairs, used her government position to help the Mohammeds. In exchange, they gave her cash payments and expensive gifts. She helped them win government contracts and get approvals for weapons permits and passports. This was corruption at the highest level. The Mohammeds denied everything. Nazar said the reports were completely false and had no truth to them. His son Azruddin called it political persecution, saying powerful people were trying to destroy him. They hired expensive lawyers and public relations firms in Washington, D.C. to fight back against the accusations. For several months, the case continued quietly. Then, in October 2025, things became much more serious and dramatic. On October 6, 2025, a grand jury in Florida issued an official indictment against both Nazar and Azruddin Mohamed. This is a formal written accusation of serious crimes. The charges were very serious, 11 counts in total, including wire fraud, mail fraud, money laundering, conspiracy, and customs violations, according to the indictment. Between 2017 and June 2024, the Mohammeds worked together to cheat the Guyanese government by evading taxes on over 10,000 kilograms of gold. That equals more than 22,000 pounds of gold. The possible punishments are severe. Each count of wire fraud and mail fraud carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. If convicted on all 11 counts, they could spend the rest of their lives behind bars. Then came the arrest. On October 31, 2025, just 3 days before Guyana's newly elected parliament was supposed to meet, police moved in and arrested both men. Nazar Mohamed, now 73 years old, and his son Azruddin, 38 years old, were arrested in Georgetown. According to Azruddin's account, the arrest was terrifying. He said masked officers with guns surrounded his car, threw him into the back of a pickup truck, and did not explain why they were arresting him. He thought they were going to kill him. The scenes outside the courthouse were chaotic. Dozens of supporters gathered, chanting and demanding their release. The Mohammeds appeared in court handcuffed together. Surrounded by armed officers, the judge agreed to release them on bail of 150,000 Guyanese dollars each, which equals about $720. But there were strict conditions. They had to surrender their passports, report to the police every Friday, and wait for extradition hearings to determine if they would be sent to the United States for trial. Here is where the story becomes even more complicated and fascinating. Azruddin Mohamed is not just a businessman. He is now a politician. Just weeks before his arrest, he did something unprecedented. He started a brand new political party called We Invest in Nationhood, or WIN. In the September 1, 2025 elections, his party shocked everyone. WIN won 16 out of 65 parliament seats. This made WIN the second largest political party in the country, pushing the traditional opposition party into third place. Azruddin was about to become the leader of the opposition, one of the most powerful political positions in Guyana. But his arrest just days before Parliament's opening raised huge questions. Was this really about justice, or was it politically motivated? His sister, speaking for the party, said, "If this is what democracy looks like, then Guyana is in a very sad state." She suggested the government was trying to prevent Azruddin from taking his rightful place as opposition leader. The government insisted they were simply following the law and honoring their international treaty obligations with the United States. As of right now, Nazar and Azruddin are free on bail, waiting for their next court hearing. The extradition process could take many years. They can fight it in Guyanese courts, and if they lose, they can appeal to the Caribbean Court of Justice. But if they are eventually extradited to the United States, they will face trial in Florida on all 11 charges. If convicted, they could spend decades in prison. Their business empire is also in danger. With U.S. sanctions in place, Mohammed's enterprise cannot do business with American companies or in American markets. This is devastating for a company that built its fortune on international gold trading. Their assets could be taken by the government. Their business partnerships could collapse. Everything they built could fall apart. Now, people in Guyana are divided about Nazar's charity work. Some wonder if it was genuine kindness, or if it was a way to buy goodwill and protection from the law. Was he trying to build a positive image to shield himself from investigation? Or was he truly a generous man who also made very bad business decisions? Some people still see Nazar as a hero who lifted himself out of poverty and gave back to his community. They believe he is being treated unfairly, that powerful people want to destroy him because he became too successful. They point to his decades of charity work as proof of his good character. Others see him as a symbol of corruption. They believe he cheated his own country out of millions of dollars and then tried to buy respect through giving money away. They argue that no matter how many schools he built or houses he gave away, it does not erase the fact that he allegedly stole $50 million from the Guyanese people. The truth? We do not know yet. That is what the courts will decide. Nazar Mohamed's story shows us important lessons about wealth, power, and morality. Can you be a good person and a criminal at the same time? If you do good things with money earned through bad means, does the good cancel out the bad? These are difficult questions without easy answers. The Mohammed family's fall from grace has also exposed something bigger about Guyana itself. This is a country sitting on massive oil and gold reserves that could make it one of the richest nations in the region. But corruption and weak institutions have held it back. The story of a barefoot boy who became a billionaire and then faced criminal charges is truly one of the most dramatic and shocking stories in modern Guyanese history. Subscribe our channel and share the video for more amazing video like that.